In what ways will Dickinson be a force for you guys to defend?
Yeah, I mean, he's a tremendous offensive player. I mean, low block scorer, he catches it with depth in the paint and quickly finishes it. He keeps it high and finishes. He's a tremendous passer out of the low post as well. He does a great job facilitating offense on the perimeter. He shoots it, from the three-point line and, just a tremendous passer. So a guy that, from an offensive standpoint, does so many things to impact their team in a positive way.
Omaha's played in the first half for the last few games. Is what's coming up tomorrow somewhat of that reason to give him the confidence that he can go in early, and because you're going to need three big guys?
Yeah, I think more than anything, it's just what calls for in a specific game. Who we need to play to be at our best. Some games that may be 8 guys, some games that may be 9 or 10. We just kind of take it as it comes. I think with Omaha specifically, he's done a great job of working hard in practice every day and being ready. So when his name's called, he can come in and be productive. And so he's got to continue to do that. And I know as the season goes on, it's a long year, that opportunities will come his way.
Coming into the year, I felt like Hunter Dickinson was getting a lot of the attention for them, but Kevin McCullough's been just as impressive. How have you seen him really improve on his film this season?
Yeah, I mean, he's playing with a high level of confidence. I think what Coach Self's been able to do is guys in his program, especially as they've been there for a few years, tend to take a big step forward in their confidence, and you can certainly see that with McCullough. He's driving the ball extremely hard, especially going right, making plays. He's getting in transition attack, and he's getting the spots, hitting shots. He shoots it well enough from the perimeter that he can get it going. So he's playing with such a high level of confidence. And like you look at years past, like Jalen Wilson, how he was playing confidence-wise last year, and you can go back and just see they do a great job developing their guys and giving them the confidence.
What's the management plan like, if there is one, for Taman? Because obviously he's cleared to play against K-State, but at the same time, the way he plays, you probably want to, make sure that he's good when you're out of the stretch.
I think more than anything, it's communication that he and I have, because every game dictates something different, right? And as physical and as hard as he plays, sometimes you take a bump, you take a shot, you dive for a loose ball, things happen in the course of the game. So really it's more he and I communicating, so I know how he's feeling, when he needs a break, when he feels confident that he wants to be out there, and it's really not any more than that. So we'll take each game as it comes. I mean, now he's fully cleared, and so it's really more of just how he feels that given night in that moment.
Is it hard to get him to want to take a break?
It is. I mean, he is a fierce competitor, and he wants to be out there. So I think I've tried to do better, or will continue to try to do better at reading when
subtle cues,
because I'm sure he'll want to play as many minutes as possible.
What do you like about this rivalry?
I think with the geographic proximity, the history of their program, the tradition of their program, certainly our fans are excited, for this game, and pretty neat to see outside Hilton Coliseum right now, students, with tents, excited for the game. So I think more than anything, it's out of respect for their program, the success they've had, that we want to be at our best. We know how important it is to be at our best, and our fans and those who've come before us really, this is a game that has been on the books for a lot of years. So many have come before us. So we take that to heart. It's been evident in our preparation, our guys' level of focus, and now we just need to carry it forward tomorrow.
When Kurt's making shots, is there something that he's doing or shots that he's getting that goes away when he's not making shots? Is there a common denominator?
I'd say as league play has moved forward, teams make different decisions how they're going to play certain actions, and sometimes when they help inside out, it allows us to get him a kick out three. Other times when they collapse on a drive, it allows us to get a kick out three. So for Kurt, he's just got to continue to hunt the opportunities that are there. I think he's doing a better job of just trusting himself when those opportunities show up, because I feel like there's still every game, there's a couple out there that we'd probably like him to take that maybe he doesn't. But, I think more than anything offensively, we want him highly involved in making plays, moving the basketball, and then hunting those opportunities when they show up, because it's absolutely made a massive impact on not just our offense, but our team in general, as he's continued to be aggressive.
Going back to Taman, I know shoulder injuries can sometimes be easy to re-aggravate. How much is that something you guys have to monitor throughout the rest of the year and making sure that he is still healthy and ready to go?
Yeah, I think it's certainly, we need to be mindful of and continue to, ask the right questions, get the right, preventative measures in place so that he's doing that. Because like we talked about, Taman he's got a stubborn toughness that he wants to be out there no matter what. So it's our job, it's my job, our sports medicine staff job to make sure that we're not putting him in positions that are not in his best interest, and that's what we'll do.
How do you make sure he's not lying to you about his shoulder?
Yeah. Of all the traits, I'd say that Taman has, lying is not one that he has. Now you can kind of tell.
How good he is at it.
Yes. But no, I think it's Vic does a great job at seeing him every day, doing different tests, doing different stabilizing things along those lines, and just seeing results.
Milan seems to pass on a couple of transition 3 opportunities every game, whether to drive or to get into that mid-range, which obviously shoots a high percentage. Are you okay with that, or would you prefer he hunt at the arc more in those situations?
Yeah, and I think it's important for Milan, as well versed he is as an offensive player, to be effective in all areas of his game and not just a 3-point shooter, because I think, like you said, he shoots it at a really, really high level. There's a physical piece to that for him where he's getting to his spots and he's getting those fadeaways and he's getting those turnarounds, and that's such a natural part of his game. So I want all of his game to come out every night out, and I'd say if anything, when he's played his best, he's gotten those shots in the mid-range or the mid-post where he gets his turnarounds and fadeaways. So we need to continue to encourage those, and I think that's a big part of his game that we want to embrace.
How much does that mid-range game stress defenses when a lot of these now are built to give up those shots because they're not analytically sound for most guys?
Yeah, I think, for everything you want a healthy balance, right? I think guys like Taman and Keyshawn who drive it as hard as they do, there's occasion where the pull-up or the mid-range is important as well, so that they don't become predictable in their game also, and we can get into the paint and not feel like we have to force it to the rim necessarily. So it's like that fine line of being aggressive and wanting to get into the rim and the foul line, but then also understanding, that mid-range shot is something that can be a weapon, and our guys have shot it for the most part at a decent percentage. So, after coaching Isaiah Brockington a couple years ago and seeing a guy who makes that shot over and over again, I'm more open-minded to, how does it have a effect on your team in general, and it can be an aggressive shot if you're coming downhill and getting your spot, as opposed to sometimes when guys, maybe it's a settle. Like, we don't want it to be a settle or that sort of thing. We want it to be aggressive.
Losing Taman is never a good thing, obviously, but Keyshawn has seemed to kind of evolve into a bigger role over the last couple of games. How much have you kind of seen him improve as he's gotten more experience, more confidence in the league?
Yeah, certainly seen the last 2 games play really well. I think just keeping it one day at a time for him, it's for all of our guys, you're playing in the best league with the best coaches and the best players, so you just got to stay humble. You've got to take one day at a time, the opportunity you can to get better, and then focus on the things you need to focus on to be successful in the day of the game. And he's done a great job of that recently, and we're going to continue to hold him accountable doing it every day.
Taman leads you guys in rebounds per game, but Keyshawn gets 13 on Wednesday night, I guess it was. How much do you stress your guards going to the glass and being active there?
Yeah, it's a really important dynamic for us because our bigs a lot of times are engaged in a block out and they're holding contact and trying to create an arc. So the guards oftentimes are the one chasing down the rebounds, and we're fortunate to have guys like Taman and Keyshawn that do such a great job chasing them down, and Kurt Jones has continued to do better that way as well. So it's going to be an important way for us to finish plays on the glass.